We're with David, the Firegoat Beaumont, obviously with the Ring of Fire theme music. How do you plan to put Paul Kaveza, the Electric Eye, in that Ring of Fire?
I just play chess. Kaveza, you know, like he'll just do the head like this, and then once he's like that, I just know it's over. But the problems are going to be more with myself. Like, it's all about me, really. It's, you know, coaching kids all day, you know, it's like Kerry. I'm bound to make 10 one-move blunders.
At least.
Can Kaveza make 11?
Okay. Are you disappointed? I've noticed your attire this week. Are you disappointed by the lack of appearance from Michael Beaumont? You apparently had this particular message for him. Here we go. It's the National Union of Workers. New at the G.
Yeah.
Was this? Are you disappointed by Barron's lack of appearance?
I'm disappointed because we went to that demonstration together. And, you know, the fact that he wouldn't support me in this match tonight, I mean, I find that offensive.
Fair enough then. Well, David, good luck with the game.
Thank you, Hip-Hop, and hopefully it'll be as exciting as your previous match tonight.
No problem.
I'm predicting 6 barriers.
Okay, we're... I'll work on... I think I need to work on that. Which one's the Zoom? The front one?
Yeah, that's
okay.
the front one.
Okay, I think we're right to go.
Good luck, sir.
That horse theme has once again reappeared. Beaumont chooses the King's Indian arrangement, a favourite of many communist socialists in the past.
The main question is he going to go with E5 or C5?
However, Kaveza does not play C4, preferring to put the knight on C3, allowing a more classical Perk, Pierce, or whatever you want to call it, opening. Kaveza's already stuck in concentration. Finally, there's a sudden E5 break. Ordinarily,
Tends to work better when there is a knight already on D7.
It's ordinarily in such an early state. It's normally considered acceptable for black, overextending the centre. But Kaveza, he's sunk in thought. He's sunk in thought already. He's pushed to E6. No fear of losing material, as is the standard theme with
What?
Thursday Fight Club.
Sneaky.
Any material that can be lost will be lost. Beaumont calmly moves the knight to the other side of the board. Unusual placement of knights by Beaumont on B6 and E8, something that you obviously in classical chess is not really a very common theme. Beaumont is starting already with the taunts.
Cold. Nothing. You've got nothing for that. There's no calculation there. You just blundered that. Nothing. Zero.
Black is lost.
Nishka.
The taunting has started, as we can see already. There's almost 1 minute advantage on the clock as well.
Don't even think about it. Start thinking. Start thinking.
Develop and destroy.
I said,
Kaveza has started thinking as suggested by Beaumont. However, he is not moving. This is a concern. Some would argue. He's trying to follow the famous Anand Smirin game from 1994, where Anand refused to move for over a minute on move 4.
Yes.
However, unfortunately, Kaveza has made the fatal mistake of already having made around 10 moves and then thinking for a minute. And I'm not convinced that in this position this is a wise decision, but we shall see. Beaumont, interesting counter strategy. Beaumont is doing the long think, and the
Have a pawn.
highly unaggressive pawn to C6. Kaveza's
Got the have a pawn attitude.
yes, he's now started talking like he has an attack, which he may actually do. There is potential shades of the infamous Beaumont Baron game with a potential checkmate on H8 coming. Rook to F5, offering a rook.
Accepts.
Accepted. But it does return the pawn structure to a more usual setup.
Have a pawn.
Kaveza, is he planning to castle kingside or queenside? Or is he just going to play king d2 because he can? This is one of the many questions that will be answered in the next 30 or so seconds. Unless Beaumont does the 1 minute think, in which case it will be sometime in the next 2 minutes or so.
Locks in his own bishop.
Blocking the bishop, however, he is controlling the e6 square, which seems to be a key square in this position. Kaveza castles queenside,
Of course.
Look at the clock.
Hopefully not planning to castle queenside in the
back.
match.
He's back, you reckon?
And the Beaumont socialist theory of only using time when your opponent has used it first before evening up the clock times has been employed. How will Beaumont proceed? Now, he only has one rook. However, he does have the advantage of the bishop pair.
And the extra pawn.
The extra pawn, it's a very it's a socialist construct.
It certainly is.
Yes.
The concept of extra is really not very fair for someone wearing such red attire. Again, the key E6 square, maybe it's turning into the key E7 square. Beaumont multitasking with the bishop, threatening and defending. It sinks into thought.
I'm just going to keep that material.
The classical thinker pose,
The go nuts approach will
What's he
probably
going
work
to
here.
do?
and then back to the chessboard. There has been some minor controversy this week. As you can notice, players are actually playing on board 2, not on board 1. And again, as a socialist protest, this has really upset Beaumont. If he is going to be put off by this, he feels that everybody should be equal. However, the fact that everybody has been playing on board 2 is somewhat calmed these aggressive intentions from Beaumont. Pawn to h4, pawn to h6.
Ooh.
The knight appears to be key. Will it stay there? Will it go? It goes back to h3, preferring the side of the board. David, would you recommend this knights on the edge of the board thing to your kids that you coach?
Yeah, I do. I recommend all kids put their knights on the edge of the board. Only because I don't like
David,
because I don't like to be beaten by Jim.
David is of the particular theory that he likes children to actually keep their pieces on the board rather than just losing them, as is so often seen in junior chess games.
I have a simple philosophy which I teach kids is that they
Pawn to
they
c4,
should learn the
Kaveza.
rule, they
Kaveza,
should
this
play.
is an interesting ploy. Attacking the knight in the centre, however, opening up the king. Will this cost him in the later part of the game?
No.
As you can see
No, because it
Beaumont's
helps him get his other pieces out.
Beaumont's socialist clock anti-technique has managed to successfully put him into a 1-minute deficit on the clock. And Beaumont plays the aggressive king f7. Unusual for a
Surely
communist.
there's an obvious move here.
Unusual for a communist king to actually be involved in some kind of attacking
That's right.
thread here.
Yeah.
Attacking kick-ass move.
The real question is here: would Baron approve?
Baron.
Would Baron approve of a move like king f7?
That's it.
Kaveza goes to h5,
That's it.
jumping into g6.
You found my thought.
Hayne approves.
Boom.
Boom! Comes the knight, e5 check, threatening to take the queen, now threatening both the queen and the bishop.
Found my tactic.
Your
There's-
tactic.
Well,
There's
the one I
threats
saw,
galore. The
Then you
rooks,
found the h4, knight g6, knight e5.
the rooks are coming in. Hayne is claiming it all as his own work.
I've bamboozled him. Look, 50 seconds. Crumble.
e6, an interesting ploy here by
He's gurgled.
Beaumont. He's offering the Baron-esque trade of queens, potentially. And the trade may be accepted. The point. A very Baron-esque. Multiple trades. He's landed Kaveza with the double pawns and went to a strange ending where Kaveza has 2 rooks and whipping off another pawn.
Weeping.
Is this technique from the
Winning technique.
technique from the electric eye? Oh, Beaumont. Has he pulled the counter swindle?
No, he certainly hasn't.
He appears to be attacking 2 rooks at once and wins one of them.
Rook the other way.
Yes, talk about it to your mother.
Beaumont returning the trash talk. However, this does leave Kaveza with a passed pawn. Will this be enough to secure victory? He's unsure. Clock times may be critical. Kaveza does have the clock advantage, but he does not have the piece and board advantage. Some would argue the Patsy check method has been employed.
Patsy check. Patsy plays check.
Anthony, we don't need to make a point of it now. We've made it once. Offering a pawn, Beaumont declines, preferring to increase the pressure on the weak pawns on the king side, which are pushed. Always good for passed pawns to be pushed. The king comes into action. More of those potential weak pawns being attacked. Kiveza starting action on the opposite wing. Beaumont ignores it all and goes after the pawns on the g-file. Now for the critical question. Which pawns are going to win? Is the clock going to be an issue?
Goody.
Is anybody going to make an illegal move? Beaumont calmly moves the bishop back. Potential for cheap tactics. Kiveza continues to attack the bishop. Relentless in the pressure on the bishop. Now there's 2 passed pawns on the wing, but Beaumont has created one of his own. Calmly blocks the bishop. Kiveza protects his other passed pawn. However, the Beaumont passed pawn could be dangerous. Beaumont has successfully put the king in the corner. In the corner. Surely that is worthy of at least half a bonus point. Missing the free rook.
No, I was check.
That is one way to get out of check, to take the piece that is in check. Oh, the flag!
Oh, crumble!
The flag. Beaumont crumbles under the pressure.
No!
That was pure Beaumont tactics.
Missing a free
I
rook.
checked his house off.
Missing a free rook.
Thanks, guys. I gotta go.
I can't see
See
anything.
you.
See you later.
See you shortly.
See Anthony.
Okay.
Paul, how do you feel about that crushing win against Beaumont?
Good.
Choosing not to offer time odds and yet still winning on the clock. And some could argue with those 2 passed pawns on the board as well.
I think he gave me a good chance. I think he was being a bit generous actually with that opening. It was very strange. I've not seen Beaumont play like that actually.
You haven't. Many other people have.
Okay.
This is a first then for Kiveza. We'll go to see Beaumont.
See ya.
Mr. Beaumont, what were your thoughts there? Obviously, things seem to be going well, but unfortunately you crumbled under the pressure.
What a fucking luck box. That's all I can say. Ridiculous. I mean, you know, my time. Where did it go? 1 minute I'm playing Blitz, next minute I've lost 20 years of my life.
This is a very deep philosophical question, which I'm sure may be answered at some stage.